Welcome to the Hero Escape Podcast, your weekly escape from our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man leaving New York and slumming it in London with a walking fishbowl. I am one of your three co-hosts, Tobey Maguire's Tears, and I am joined by...
I did not expect you to be here today, Mr. Tears.
You guys are never ready for what I'm bringing.
Well, my name is Peter P. Posey.
Peter P. Posey.
Peter Parker Posey.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah.
I thought I was kind of a poser. Anyways. And I am our last host today, Fake Gyllenhaal. Happy to join us for our podcast today. We've been waiting for these microphones too long, gentlemen.
Too long.
Happy to be back. And before we get into today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit about, of course, the new Spider-Man trailer that dropped, as well as reviewing, as promised, the Aquaman release that came out around Christmas time. Lots of things to talk about. But before we get into that, I have a very special dedication.
Oh.
I'd like to dedicate today's episode to the now long gone natural facial movements of all actresses over the age of 30. May they rest in Botox.
Frozen in time forever.
More on that later.
Yeah, okay. I'm curious if you something.
Oh yeah,
something.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get it.
Oh, there's a specific anecdote.
Yeah.
Anecdote. Can't wait.
All right.
Okay.
So the trailer drops. If all of you listen to our show, you know by now we love it. The Marvels. They are Marvels. They're good. So the trailer drops. We just watched it. We've watched it multiple times, as I'm sure you guys have.
Are they simply marvelous?
Yes. There's lots of questions. Now the big thing out there that's the question that there's been some debate about. There's people know the answer to this. We try and stay spoiler free as possible, but so does this happen after the finger snap or before the finger snap?
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Is this giving away that Nick Fury and Peter Parker have been brought back? My thought is no. It's clearly, to me, I'm watching the trailer and I just completely thought the whole time this is just something that took place before Infinity Wars. That was my thought.
I don't see how they can do that because Infinity Wars Endgame's release date is April.
I got him saying Infinity Wars.
Well, it was the apostrophe S. Infinity Wars, the possessive. So
that was close, man.
The possessive, yeah. The Endgame's apostrophe S. Release date is April. Far From Home, the release date is like July. So how can they release a movie that came out before Infinity War 2 months after Endgame? You can't.
I have two pieces of information that will lock it in as after. Okay.
False.
Good. So, first one
I don't believe you. Continue.
An interview with the executive lady at Sony. Her name is Amy something or other. She said in an interview, Far From Home takes place minutes after Endgame.
Okay.
This is exactly what I was asking before we started the show. Is there stuff like this that people know?
Well, I don't think that it ultimately, that the time frame, I mean, I guess you could say the time frame constitutes a spoiler, but then you're saying the entire trailer is effectively a spoiler, right? Them putting it out becomes a spoiler.
Okay, there's nothing
I don't have
in the
inside
trailer
info
themselves that says it has to have been after Endgame and couldn't be before.
There's actually
Infinity
something
War.
in Infinity War, singular.
Okay.
Apparently there's a line in the scene in New York near the beginning. Peter Parker, he's on the school bus, right? And then da-da-da-da. And he says to Tony Stark, I was just about to leave for a field trip.
I don't
He
know
like
if
says that line. Yeah, it could be a random field trip, or they could have been on their way to the airport. It's hard to say, but that was the other thing. That was the other.
I do
those
remember
two
that.
things people are saying kind of confirm it. So
yeah.
But he left his suit in the trailer, and he clearly took his suit with him in Infinity War. Bam.
There is a brief shot in the
right
trailer. There was two trailers. There was an American one that we all saw, and then there was an international trailer. In the international trailer, they did a brief shot of his suitcase. It is opened, and there is his suit and a note from Aunt May saying, "You almost forgot this," like a smiley face or kissy face, something like that. So he leaves it behind. She puts it in.
Oh, he just returned your snap back at you.
You gotta do the Yeah, dang it.
Well, I for one,
I still think it's before. Because
Even though the executive has said it's not, even though somebody has said it's not.
Put some money on this, so when we go to the theater,
I think it's a huge
bold
mistake.
prediction. Sure to be proven wrong.
I think it's a huge mistake, faux pas, whatever, to release this trailer this early.
I kind of agree.
I feel like you don't do it. You don't do it. You
Because
you
you think
leave
it's a
the
spoiler
mystique.
that-
Yeah, it's a huge spoiler. I think you're the only person I know that's been like, "Oh, this must have happened before Infinity War." It definitely did not. They have their junk together enough to not release a movie this late after.
I
Say,
did-
this happened before. This happened before.
I didn't want it. I mean,
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to see this and be like, "What?"
I eventually
No.
would want to see it, but I didn't want anything.
But the
Rumors are different than having confirmed video to say yes. Okay, we're
but
gonna.
they have confirmed essentially nothing other than the fact that they just said, yeah, as we've told you for years, there's another Spider-Man movie.
But it's different than me seeing the evidence of it. Like, I don't want to see Spider-Man until he is
Well,
events bring him back to life. He should be dead until he's brought back to life in every format.
Which, again, because they have their stuff together, makes me think it just takes place in a timeline where it hasn't spoiled anything.
The executive from Sony said this happens right after Endgame. So
Let me give you one other little observation from the trailer.
Sony?
And I just want to put it on
What
record
does Sony know? They're a bunch of boobs. Okay, sorry.
that I'm not nerdy enough to notice all these details. I cheat and I watch YouTube videos where other more nerdy people than me point this stuff out. But
Hail nerds.
in the shot where it shows his passport, it has month and day, and there is no year. And there's space on the sheet there, on the paper. And everybody knows that every single passport ever made has your birth date, year, and the current year and the expiration year. And the prevailing theory is that they actually edited the year out because it would give some clue as to where in time this took place, which would therefore
yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
spoil things from Endgame, which is heavily rumored, not known, so it's not exactly a spoiler, but heavily rumored to have time as some kind of element in it. So,
Okay, well, anyways.
yeah.
Okay, so I opened that big. Any other beefs or things you... I thought the trailer made me excited. I did not think I was going to see Jake Gyllenhaal in anything. My cousin, named after me.
Yeah.
Like
Twins, really.
Yeah,
your
really,
parents named you Fake,
shocking.
and they liked that ache sound, and so they were like, "Well, what else can we go?" Jake, how about Jake?
Yeah. Now, I thought when I watched the trailer and I'm seeing these, fire, whatever, the earth and a water guy, and then
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Is that what
yeah.
you're saying in the trailer?
yeah, then you see that it's going to be Mysterio. The Jake Gyllenhaal is playing Mysterio, a very classic, iconic Spider-Man villain. I'm thinking, I bet this is where my brain went. Now go ahead and shoot all this down too. Ruin my dreams.
That's why we're here.
Dream Crushers. I was thinking all those guys, because Mysterio is a master of illusion and from what I understand, doesn't actually have powers. So
No.
all these elementals, I noticed as I've watched the trailer multiple times, they have very little physical interaction with the environment. So they could just be an illusion, right? There's the one where the water hits Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's very little interaction. So I'm thinking, it's all just
I don't know.
illusion.
I didn't-
He's pulling a syndrome. He's making villains for him to defeat to make himself be cool.
But I didn't hear Mysterio make any allude to the villains at all. To the villains at all. I'm only amusing myself here.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad somebody's having fun here.
We're all very happy for you.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it that deeply. I'm glad that they're bringing classic Super Spider-Man villain into it. I have grievances with this movie. I don't love that Aunt May knows, all the high-fiving. Oh, look, we're some sort of Spider-Man team now doing publicity. Come on. But
That was the final frame from the first Spider-Man movie, though. She sees him.
yeah, I know.
So-
I know, and I didn't like that in the first movie either. I didn't like that he's like, she walks in and sees him, and she that is a persistent thing through decades of Spider-Man comics that Aunt May does not know Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Post Civil
whatever.
War in the comics, everybody knows who he is. This movie is taking
But
place post-Civil War.
but this Civil War comic the Civil War movie did not have that happen, and so they can't use that as an excuse.
Yeah.
And then
You're right, but I'm
the Civil
over
War
it.
comic
Yeah.
undid that very quickly.
You're right, but I'm over it. But I don't know. Anyways,
Well, I'm not over it.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
I would say that my intro was only partially tongue-in-cheek. I was not thrilled with the London setting. I know it seems like a nitpick or something like that, but like he's a New York Spider-Man. And I know we've had all these movies that took place in New York, and maybe they thought we needed to shake it up.
They're clearly trying to make this be as an international brand and story to increase worldwide appeal, which paid off big time. The number one movie last year because of foreign sales was Infinity War. Black Panther had more domestic sales than Infinity War did. So, expanding.
I feel like that's reverse psychology, right? I mean, there was nothing international about Infinity War, but Black Panther did not happen much at all in America.
A big, huge chunk of it took place in Dublin or Scotland, whatever the place was.
Oh, you mean that 5 minutes in the beginning?
Wakanda,
Black Panther takes place
Wakanda
mostly
Africa.
outside the United States.
Almost practically none of it took place in the United States.
I know, but it did better domestically. So I feel
Black
like you
Panther
just shot your own idea in the foot. Right there.
Yeah, but you know exactly why.
Are you enjoying yourself tonight?
Yeah,
As you, everything you put out there, we just destroy, smash it.
What else you got?
Who put this kick me sign on my butt? Okay.
What else you got? Gyllenhaal?
But anyway, but you said this earlier too. At no point have I lost faith in Marvel. This is going to be a good movie.
It's going to be a good movie.
Yeah,
I mean, there's going to be things I'm going to nitpick about because I'm me, but I'm sure I will enjoy it.
I have to say, I have slightly maybe, but I have diminished expectations for the Marvel experience post Endgame. I see Endgame as this mountain peak.
You mean Phase 5,
right?
Whatever.
And there being an inevitable.
Oh yeah.
Coming down off the peak.
Oh yeah.
Like you just.
I don't see how they can go. How
Yeah, how do you maintain?
Yeah.
How do you even plateau from that point?
Exactly.
I mean, it's such a high point. I don't know how you can do it. You know, it's like you have Return of the Jedi. You should just quit there. You know what I'm saying? Like you've hit your peak. Just call it good and go home.
Well, this is your favorite. When we did our Spider-Man podcast episode several months ago, Tom Holland was your favorite Spider-Man. Are you backing off from that now, or are you still excited to watch the movie? Right? I mean,
I liked. Well, I think didn't I say that the previous dude I liked quite a bit, even though
Tobey Maguire? No, wait, no, the previous guy.
Garfield.
What was his name? Garfield.
Even though there are a lot of elements that were not true to the way that Spider-Man traditionally behaves. Yeah. I guess I'm just thinking like his build, the way he carried himself, even outside of the film at like Comic-Con and stuff, like it just...
They haven't got the perfect balance yet. The Tobey Maguire was the better Peter Parker. Garfield was the better Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They haven't had the perfect... And this guy does the best job of the balance, right? He's chatty and talkative.
I like them all.
As Spider-Man.
He is very good, and I did really like first movie.
Okay, so... Peter Parker, the interaction with Nick Fury, to me, this hails to a lot of the other media that fans get exposed to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. There's all sorts of cartoons, the Amazing, Spectacular, the whatever Spider-Man cartoons that are out there. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, Peter Parker has very little interaction with like the Avenger type superheroes, but has been getting brought along by Nick Fury as like this mentor figure. And so, to me, it felt very much like a lot of the cartoons that I've watched with my boys in that regard. So that are good. The cartoons are quite good. So there's a dynamic there that I think will be enjoyable with him and Nick Fury. And honestly, Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury is the win. Have a movie, I think.
Yeah,
it's a good. It's a take on Spider-Man. It's fine. I don't have agreements with it. My favorite Spider-Man is kind of the old school when he sort of developed his super identity, kind of free of all the other superheroes.
Yep,
and then as an adult,
from a comic book standpoint,
the Avengers start to appreciate what he does and sort of incorporate him. But I always liked the new version of Spider-Man is that he's mentored by Iron Man and Nick Fury and has all these mentors to help him along the way, which is not my favorite.
Well, there you have it. Lots to be excited for with the Spider-Man trailer. And
or not,
especially if you're me and you choose to like be excited for it.
If I'm like you and have a positive outlook,
silly. Okay, let's turn the corner here. To our somewhat belated review of Aquaman. We all went and watched it together. I think it was a holiday blockbuster type movie, and. We enjoyed it. My wife was also there with us. She enjoyed it also. There's been a huge penchant for people to try and compare it to the Marvel movies.
Excellent pronunciation. Bon voyage, to be proud.
Yeah. Monsieur Incroyable.
It's the only word that came in my head
Penchant.
that fit. Yeah.
He's also eating a croissant for everybody.
Croissant. Anyways, that my bold prediction was, we had some bold predictions on there, and that I said that he would get introduced, have some new power that was hitherto unknown to Aquaman. I believe that was false, unless the Triton, the Super Triton, is somehow.
Are we not considering the ability to have freedom of movement underwater while wearing denim a superpower? Because I was really impressed by the skinny jeans.
Yeah, and no signs of chafing.
I know,
he
right?
wasn't
Yeah,
putting
that's
baby
true.
powder on later.
I think the not going through the
Unbelievable.
submarine without any sort of chafing or pulling away.
I know, right?
That's definitely a superpower.
They
right?
cut out all the scenes with the applying the baby powder and trying to deal with that
that's
situation.
definitely a superpower. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but literally, like, watching the movie the whole time, I'm thinking, I'm like, look, I get it. He looks good in the jeans with no shirt, but what is the practicality of the jeans with the leather belt, and that's what you're choosing to swim around the ocean in?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Did he have a chain wallet too? Did he have one of those? I think he did, right?
Yeah. His drying chamber to dry off must be super impressive. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds flat, complete dryness, We're talking about the important things in this movie, all right?
We are a hard-hitting show, okay? We get down to the brass tacks.
I think his superpower is to lose all the accessories that he has, because he has so many like things on his wrist and necklaces, and just to keep track of them all.
Okay. You're still lying. So no new superpower, but you teased me and said that his new superpower would be the power to resurrect a franchise.
And he's
Did that accomplish it?
I don't know.
It's kept it alive. Yeah, it's bolstered it. Yeah.
I'd say it more like a
Good word.
Yeah.
Good
life
word.
support
Thank
kind
you.
of.
You have a penchant for good words.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry.
But he's playing one of those drinking games. That's the word right there.
Yeah. Penchant.
So yeah, very different feel. Like the trailer led us to believe that we have a different feel from other DC movies. It wasn't so dark that Deadpool would have to make fun of it for being dark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was the noticeable change here
Yeah.
with this movie, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
A lot
extremely.
of brightness, bright colors.
Yes. I think they took the story of Aquaman and his origin and all of that stuff to places I didn't expect it to go and didn't really know about, that I enjoyed.
They cram a lot into the movie.
They did. They
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. That's a good thing they did. I like that.
Yeah. I loved. I thought the action sequences. Jason Momoa. I hope I'm saying his name right too. I just love him as Aquaman, even though he does not look or behave anything like the Aquaman I grew up with Super Friends.
Yeah, ironically, Orm is more physically, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the brother, whatever. Yeah, he sort of
Reminiscent
looked
of the
more like
classic
him.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until he puts on the sweet, golden, true Aquaman suit. Kind of thing, yeah.
Then you're like,
at
bam.
that moment, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Because there's been plenty of iterations since Super Friends of Aquaman that have him looking like a grizzly sea captain kind of a
Yeah.
dude, and so that's I've never had a problem with him looking that way or whatever. But
Can I say?
I loved my favorite part of the movie is Jason Momoa. He's awesome,
Yeah.
and the fact that they really seamlessly stitched in.
I like
me
that
as
scene
his
that Jason
body
Momoa's in,
double
too.
as often as they had to, so that because his face, it's all just for his face, but
Yeah.
my body doubling for him really looked good.
Yeah, I could hardly tell. Yeah. I feel like do I get props for the joke about that he will look at the camera and say I'm Aquaman, and then the very end is the voiceover saying, and I think he does say because I'm Aquaman.
You totally
Wow,
did,
there's like
yes.
a image of him.
Dude, you freaking called it. What do we have to do? We have to call him like Jedi Master for a week or something because he totally nailed that. Honestly, I don't know.
I'll take it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was impressive, and the multiple times where he stares through the prongs of his trident. Like the director really had a thing like, I need this shot in here at least twice.
Yeah. The first one I didn't mind. I think when he first gets it, but I felt like the second
Makes
one was like...
Exactly. But the second time around, as well as the multiple times in this movie
Double
where
dipping.
people are having a completely calm, normal conversation that is abruptly interrupted by an explosion. Like, multiple times this happens.
Hey, everything's so boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a theme going on in that movie. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
To what degree do you think that this movie is benefiting in terms of reviews and the way people are coming out of it feeling from the dumpster fire that came before it? Like, if this...
It's so good compared to that it's...
Yeah, a lot of people are, going with such low expectations that they're like, wow, that was really good. I've heard a lot of people, including, I think, a couple of you guys, say, I wish this had been the first movie. That if this was the first movie, we would think totally different about the DC thing. But I do wonder if this was standing on its own and we were still in a Marvel era.
If this was the first movie and we didn't have BVS before it, I still think it'd be a very successful movie when people would like it.
Yeah.
I do think it probably gets a boost from people's, being like, oh, finally. Oh, yeah, it's so good. Like, it seems better, right? Because the garbage, like I said, the dumpster fire before, it makes it seem so great. I still think it'd be a very successful movie. It would still have hit the $1 billion or whatever it's made.
Yeah. The moderate praise, I totally get. I just asked that because I've seen articles and stuff where it's like cranked up to 11. Like, this is the most amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, hold on.
Well, I think people are
we live in a world or time of people are extremes, and it's like we pick sides, and then we get blindly, about what we feel about stuff. Like you can see in politics now and everything. But and I think that's part of it. Like, if you're going to like it, you just dig in and overpraise it. Because there's so much, and you feel like you have to counteract all of the unwarranted negativity about something you like. And so people get, I think, a little over the top. Look, this movie was an enjoyable movie. If you like being entertained, if you like movies, the whole thing about going to the theater is for the price of a ticket, you can escape and go on an adventure, right? Come on. It fit that bill.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's a good movie. It's more than just enjoyable. I mean, if you like superhero movies, you will like it. But there is a little
change my life.
Yeah.
I guess.
But can I say there's even I like, to your point, I saw a video where a guy was like really hyping this. It's so good. It's as good as anything Marvel doing. And I think the special effects are as good or better than anything Marvel's doing. I was like, okay, well, absolutely not. But I'm glad you like it.
Pump the praise break.
It's like, you do know that Thanos wasn't actually a real person, right? Like, that was completely digital.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Yeah, no. The special effects were not better. They were top quality. I mean, they were top.
They're
quality,
great.
top shelf special effects. But I mean, like Thanos and all that they made a whole new shelf for that.
Exactly.
They better win an Oscar for that. Like,
there's a whole new level of special effects that Marvel's at that nobody else is getting to.
Yeah. So okay, well, we're kind of into that. So let's talk about beefs. Things that we wish were different, things that we liked, and maybe give it a rating here. If I don't mention it, I have a buddy of mine will be mad. He doesn't like that there's an actual scene where an octopus is playing drums.
Hold up.
A la Little Mermaid.
The seaweed is always greener.
There's a scene in their competition where an ant is playing drums. So let's just be fair here, right? Like, we all saw that in the Ant-Man trailer, and we're like, now hold on. I'm sure there's an explanation.
Okay, I saw that. I'm like, why not? There's a bunch of bazillion things down here in the city of Atlanta, Atlantis, whatever, under the sea. Why can't an animal play drums?
Exactly.
It didn't bother me at all, but when he mentioned it, I was like, okay, whatever. All right. I don't have no counter argument, but it's like, in one eyeball and out the other, I guess. Didn't bother me. But anyways, so... Is it as good as like the Marvel? It's entertaining. The production value, sure, all in ballpark. My favorite scene will help explain some of my withdrawal. But
it's when the guy puts his head in the toilet, right? That's it. Yeah.
Nope.
Me too.
Is it the one with Jason Momoa?
I love. Okay, no. One of my favorite parts is when the guys come to him in the bar. And they're all, hey, are you the Aquaman? After the news is up there, and he's like,
don't they actually say Aqua Boy or something like that? Aqua Lad or something like that?
Yeah, that water guy or water
I thought that was pretty good.
And he's like, yeah, what of it? And then the next thing you know, you see all these pictures of him, like, and they're all like, oh, like getting like, he's getting smashed with them, taking a bunch of pictures, drunk, and having a super
Right.
good
With
time.
his pink cell phone case. I liked that.
Yeah,
the tough
dude
biker
getting
guy
the
with the
selfie.
pink cell
So
phone.
to me, that was one of the coolest parts because it made me identify with the person of Aquaman. What's his name again? His real name?
The actor?
No, the character's name.
Arthur Curry.
Arthur Curry. Gosh, I could not get Arthur out.
I was blanking on
Yeah,
it too.
Arthur Curry. So that makes me identify with Arthur Curry as a dude that I can identify with, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't go to bars and drinks, so there's a limit to how much I could.
He does like skinny jeans and wallet chains, though.
Yeah, just like me.
He's wearing a vest
And I
right
wear
now with
them
no
wet
shirt.
as often as possible.
Yeah.
No.
He's wearing a vest with no shirt right now.
That's
so.
right. Yes.
Every single time we record.
He stole my look.
No, I am not. Okay.
We're on fire tonight, and you're getting burned.
Yeah.
My apologies.
It does.
We love you.
That's okay. Okay, so I love that scene because it connects me with them. But the problem is, I think one of the things that would have taken this, make everything else a little bit more meaningful move, if there's something in there that you could identify with him a little bit better. Okay, and they had so many opportunities to do it, and I don't necessarily know that I'm the genius that could have got it right. But like, there's those sacrificial scenes in the hero, like when Cap does it or Thor does it at the end, where you just sort of, even if I don't identify it, like I'm that guy, like this dude is my hero, right? We love the gruff tough guy who's got a heart of gold, which is kind of what he was in this movie, but for some reason that like, I really love this guy connection. They failed to make that connection, right? For me.
Am I wrong on this? I mean, correct me, please, if I am. It seems like there was no huge obstacle that he had to come over. No, like, dig deep. I have to become a better person for this. It was just like, oh man, I lost this fight. Well, I gotta get the Triton so I can win.
That's a little bit of what I was going to say,
Yeah.
is that
There you go.
his motivation never fully flipped. Like, I mean, I suppose you could say when he finally saw his mother, but by that point he'd gone through, it just seemed like the entire time he was like, I don't want anything to do with this, but I'm doing it anyway. I don't want anything to do with this, but I'm doing it anyway.
Because he was kind of this sort of just, the character of him was like, whatever, man, let's go do it. Like, so that's how the whole journey felt. Like, all right, I guess I'll go do this.
And I guess,
Now I
to
just
what
wanna
you were
beat you up,
saying,
like,
there's
up to
moments with Cap, with Iron Man, where you get a sense that
You're moved by their heroes.
feel the need, like this is something that has to be done, whether or not, no matter what the cost is to me, like that,
And
Marvel
but
is
the
great
thing
at,
is,
like-
he is kind of doing it. Like when he goes and he gets the final thing to get the Triton and all that. Like he does heroic things, but they somehow need to bring that.
The Thor,
Make it more poignant somehow.
Thor is probably the
where you're
closest match to
inspired.
him.
Either you got to identify massively with the character, or you have to be massively inspired by the character, and they sort of split that difference rather than nailed either one of those. To me,
I feel like the Thor movie is probably might be the closest one in terms of like the character, and like I said, we've talked about this a long time ago. I think our first episode, right?
Yeah.
That the growth that the character of Thor goes through, that he goes from
Thor 1,
all his powers are stripped from him,
Yep.
and he has to
Yeah.
become a better person to earn those back, and it's tough, right, for him, and you kind of feel for him on that journey, and they do, and that's missing from this movie a little bit.
So, anyways, any other? I like the movie. Totally entertained. I was entertained by it. I like it. If they make another one, I will happily go see it. But anyways, what some other thoughts you guys had on favorite scenes or scenes you wish were different?
I actually kind of did enjoy the scene where the guy had to dunk his head in the toilet because he had the whole, like water shooting out Monty Python-esque, like just like so much water coming out of that one receptacle.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? Yeah. And I don't know how I felt about Black Manta. I'd be curious.
Oh, that
what
was
you
my
guys
other thing. I
thought.
didn't want to.
I love that Black Manta was in the movie, and I like the guy that played him and everything. Probably my only weird thing was the montage of him putting the suit together to the whatever very popular music song. I don't even remember.
There were
but
some
I
weird
thought,
music choices in general.
there was a
in
few
this.
weird music choices, and but I thought that montage of modifying this, I'm like, what? This feels very weird.
So, aside from the opening scene with the Black Manta squad, I never believed in the Black Manta as a villain.
Well, he seemed like a side character. Like he was
Yeah.
totally
opening
put
scene
aside.
where they come in and they're pirating this submarine and they're super, bad dudes and they're doing all this hard stuff. But from then on out, he just seemed, and I don't know that actor from anything else. Maybe he's a really intimidating, scary dude otherwise, but I just didn't believe it. Any other scene after that opening sequence with him and his dad.
I got to be honest.
Well, I don't blame. Oh, God, sorry. Go.
I am maybe not going to get well reviewed for this, but I couldn't take him seriously after that opening scene because for whatever reason, they're showing this emotionally gut-wrenching scene where his father is pinned against the wall and he's going to rescue him. And all I can think is tall Kevin Hart is going to rescue mean Steve Harvey. You know what I mean? Like all I could see was those two guys because I didn't really know those actors either.
Yeah.
So my brain is making this reference point and I'm like, I can't take this whole thing seriously at all anymore.
Yeah, so I don't know if he was miscast or poorly directed, but I
tend not to think it was the actor's fault. I felt like, and I liked seeing Black Manta in the movie. I liked the iconic
the fact
helmet.
that the character was
But
in it, I thumbs up.
I feel like it was maybe more just the writing because what was odd is like they're bad people already. They murder all these people on the thing. They're bad. They're not good people. For some reason, they're after Aquaman. But then when he shows up to fight them, and they lose the fight, now they hate him more. It's like I don't know. I just felt like it's some sort of like.
Yeah.
Well, why did you hate him in the first place? Now you hate him.
Well, they didn't hate him until he killed him.
But they were like, he said earlier, like, I've been waiting to meet you or something like that when they first fought.
Yeah.
And now he hates him more because,
yeah.
but like your dad was, you were trying to kill him. I don't know. I guess this is the kind of the
It's a
motivation of a
failed
lot of
character
bullies and bad
motivation.
guys, right? They're like, they just feel
They hate
everything's
to hate.
unjust
That
against
doesn't have
it.
to make
But
sense to you,
it just felt,
but yeah.
it just felt like, well,
They almost needed to show him being a little bit more on the level at the beginning, and then the event of his father dying changing him into what he became. But instead, like you say, he starts here, the event happens, it seems inconsequential because he stays there. He's a little more focused on it, but it's basically the same behavior.
yeah.
So
I don't know. He just wasn't menacing or scary after that first part where he like kills the captain.
Well, he was kind of a side villain, right? I mean, he kind of was. I mean, he had his brief. He is in the beginning, and then
How do you not
he gets
make-
taken out in the city, and then the main villain comes back as his brother.
You got this big dude has a nasty scowl, and somehow I wasn't scared of him. Yeah. Anyways,
I just generally think that, especially in hero movies, it's better when there's a singular villain. Like another fine example in the Marvel universe that I was not a fan of at all was the
Iron Man 3
is it 3?
that has Mandarin and
Yes,
Killian.
yeah, Mandarin, and then they take the wind out of Mandarin's sails. It becomes a total side thing, and then you're on Killian the whole time, and it just felt kind of
That was
you know.
also disappointing too, right? Because I think the art and stuff before that hinted at the Mandarin, right? They showed the rings and stuff. which is very
they
Mandarin.
knew it was going to be Mandarin.
And then it was ended up the real villain is this Killian guy that nobody's ever heard of.
Did you guys like? Because I totally loved the big, ultra, super, mega sea monster that was guarding the Triton. I loved it. I loved it. The way that it was protecting it, that whole scene, and I loved it. They brought it in on the battle at the end. Oh, I love that.
I do like
monster.
that.
I thought that was so cool.
I like that was tied to his ability to communicate with sea life, right? Because that is a classic only Aquaman power, and that's how he could get the Triton. Right?
And therefore the true heir, and he was able to get it.
Yeah.
Not because he was awesome, because his mom was awesome. If it was just a matter of being an awesome fighter, somebody else could have gotten it, right?
Yeah.
But it was,
It almost got like a little Tolkien-esque there.
It kind of
He's
did.
there
didn't
in
it?
the lair, and then this like eternal creature is
Yeah.
talking to him with this condescension, the way that
Yeah.
Smog talks to Bilbo
I
and
was
stuff.
totally
You know what I mean?
thinking
Like,
Smog too. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
that was-
loved that part. I really,
it was
really
good.
good.
Can I say something too, real quick? But we might be going a little long on this. I don't know, but not that she did amazing acting in this movie, but I definitely could tell a difference between Nicole Kidman and everybody else.
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
meant-
tell the difference between Nicole Kidman and a plastic mask.
Yeah, I would say that.
That's the
I will say that.
anecdote.
I will say it was there, but just her like
How do you get?
her. I felt like I was not. I don't know. I could
Nicole
tell the difference between her
Kidman
acting
from
and everybody
the
else.
movie Australia, Nicole Kidman from the movie Gangs of New York, totally in love with this woman, in the subtlety and her ability to act. That ability is completely gone because her face is frozen.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't
That's
pick
so
up on
mean,
that.
and
or
I
notice
Some of that
say
might have been
that.
well, you think it was? I think it might have been the special effects to make her look a little younger.
Well, there's
in
the younger
beginning.
scenes
There's
I'll
that.
forgive, but I also saw her in some other interviews, and I was just like, yeah, her face does not move
Yeah.
normally. Look, Nicole Kidman, I love you, and all ladies of Hollywood, I love you all. It is okay to grow old gracefully.
Yeah.
I love natural. The less you have to doll yourself up, the more beautiful I think you are. That's my take on beautiful women. The less you appear to be face stretched and gobs of paint everywhere, like that doesn't make you prettier to me. That just means you've spent more time trying to look pretty, which I appreciate. But that doesn't natural beauty. Anyways, a wrinkle here and there, let it go. It's okay.
Is it possible that being a dentist by trade, you're more acutely aware of like unnatural like
Yes.
mouth movements? That
I'm
you were the
putting-
one that pointed out to us that is how you tell bad de-aging CGI.
Yeah.
Is in the mouth, like
Yep.
the Tarkin and things like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
because I'm saying I didn't notice that at all. It didn't occur. I was also distracted by them de-aging Jango Fett.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was terrible.
At the
The
beginning.
de-aged Jango Fett almost looked like a different dude. I'm like, oh, was I wrong this whole time thinking?
Yeah,
it was
well, I was on
They
the-
did
yeah.
it terrible. Either they had a flat out different actor, or they just did it super weird. I don't know. But I loved him in the movie. The relationship between Queen Atlanta and him, whatever, Mr. Curry,
Tom Curry. I think?
was super cool. That he would still go out to the pier and all that. That gave the movie a spirit and a beauty to it that it needed, and it was good. Something emotionally deep like that needed to be connected to Aquaman himself,
Yes.
to the primary character to give it something, right? He's kind of on this revenge thing the whole time, but revenge is not something I connect with. Maybe a different audience does, but I don't get motivated by revenge I can't hold it. I stink at holding grudges. I'm too lazy. I don't have the energy for it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's not something I identify, but maybe maybe it did for other people, but I loved that relationship too. I thought it was super, super cool.
Yeah, I agree.
And the monster was all, the end fight was super cool. It was like the battle of the 5, 6, 7, how many armies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Stealing it from Tolkien again.
I'd like to know how much Nicole Kidman did of her own action scene in the fight scene that Atlanta's in, because I liked that fight scene a lot. I thought it was really good. Whoever her stunt double is and however much she was able to do was great.
And she is a beautiful, wonderful actress that I hope I have poorly misjudged the vote.
Look, she's not going to show up
I
on
feel
your
terrible
doorstep
that I
and be
just
like, "Are you Dave Corliss?
Yeah, she
Are you the one
and
that
then
was bad-mouthing
She would
me in
slap
my-
me silly until tomorrow, I'm sure.
Look at
Yeah.
this wrinkle."
Yeah. She's a beautiful woman. Anyways. Okay. But that was what our dedication, that spawned our dedication.
Yeah, all right.
Come on, how many of the actors, anyways.
I also wanted to say this. While this movie was much better than its predecessors, maybe excepting Wonder Woman or something, I still don't think it is enough to recover the whole franchise and the damage that's been done.
No, not
it
at
did
all.
not make me excited for another Justice League movie. It did not do anything to move the needle for whatever this mess of a Batman project that never seems to get done is. So it's weird because I like it in a standalone sense.
Yeah.
But
That's why I said, I'd love to see another Aquaman movie. If they make another Aquaman movie, I'll go see it.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice if they maybe just took this as hey, we made some. I don't know how much money they made off the movies, how much the Aquaman cost, but say like if they made a lot of money, like let's take this and start over again. But
Yeah.
they're not
they
going
could
to.
do what if they did, instead of a Batman v Superman, they did some sort of a team up movie with Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
But then at that point, they just seem like a little, I don't know if desperate's the word, or like, it's sad. It's a little sad in a way. Like,
I mean,
we
then
know
again,
what
I
we
feel
could
like
have.
they screwed. They should have done that, right? I mean, they originally for a while they were going to do Flashpoint, which is going to be the Flash movie,
Yeah.
and that's kind of a big part of that story is that there's this war between the Amazons
Yep.
and the Atlanteans because Wonder Woman was supposed to marry Aquaman, and it all erupts in this political warfare, and it's kind of cool. It would have been cool if they'd gone that route, but
Yeah.
it didn't.
But then they find out she's allergic to denim, and the whole thing's called off.
Yeah, exactly. Allergic to denim and seafood.
And wallet chains.
Well,
Hard hitting.
Yes.
That's what we're all about here.
And isn't it tragic that they wasted all of that fine Italian wine?
Oh.
that I don't drink.
I'm not a drinker, so I was fine with
Even
it.
me, I don't drink.
Some
but I'm just
vineyard
like, oh,
owner
that's-
was crying in
She
that
probably
scene.
just ruined some families' like life savings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, like that's what I was like. Oh, that was a lot of money. I mean, I've never had a lick of alcohol in my life, and I never will. But like that, I was still like, oh, that poor family. that owns.
I just understand why her body posture stuff when she sends all the wine out is so dramatic. All like hands and like head back, and I'm like, you've done more impressive things and more relaxed than this. So why are you so dramatic with this?
Maybe
Like,
she's a closet day drinker, and it's just painful for her on an existential
maybe
level
so.
to do that.
That
to
could
so much
be.
wine.
I
Or
believe
maybe the
that.
bottles were that hard to break.
You think
Yeah.
so? Maybe they were.
Due to their
I
exceptional
think
quality.
it was all for the cinematography, Dave. That's what I think.
That doesn't add up.
In this movie with ample amounts of swooshing hair and gazing into the camera. Yeah. Does not add up.
Okay, so any other thing? Can we give it a rating now?
Yes, it's rating time.
Rating time.
Sex
PG-13.
I was going to say that, and I thought I better not. It's not an 8. I'm going to go 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm probably going to say
Maybe even 7. 7.5. Sorry, go ahead.
7.8, and we all know
It's
it's
gotta-
7.9
Because there's
of
no
a
Matt
lack of Damon. So
No Matt Damon surprise.
yeah, 7.9. That's my.
Yeah, I think we're all thinking the same thing. If I had to give it a no decimals, I would say 7. I don't mind it being, a fraction higher, like you guys have done too.
Yeah.
So again, totally enjoyable. Watch it again. That's probably going to end up on my, the Blu-ray is going to end up on my shelf. You know what I'm saying? And I'll continue to enjoy it.
So if you had your druthers, as it were, you guys,
Oh, I love Druthers.
the next DC movie that comes out, what is it? Is it another Wonder Woman? Is it another Aquaman?
What do you think my answer is?
if I have my Druthers, Are we still talking about his druthers or my druthers?
Well,
What do you
each
think?
in turn.
Let me ask you this: what do you think my druther is? Question upon your question.
I think.
Something that resets it.
Yeah,
I was
A
going to say,
complete
yeah,
reset.
Batman movie with a whole new.
I wouldn't
Clean
even.
slate.
Yeah, a movie that resets the DC universe in the right way. It doesn't have to be Batman, but it's got to be Batman or Superman, probably.
No.
Maybe Wonder Woman.
Here's what I think. What I would if can I have druthers now?
You may druther.
I would like to draw. Okay. How about a yet unseen hero in the current universe that resets it? Okay, because I want to still have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I want to have Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I'm perfectly fine with the current Flash guy. Can't remember his name. So I would like something to happen that resets the universe, but we get to keep the good and we leave the bad behind. Even if that means somehow Batman's younger and we don't have old Batman or something like that. Something that maybe a Martian Manhunter type event could do something like that.
I would love that.
Or a Dark Side, something that messes with time or dimensions. Maybe a Green Lantern thing could do that, or a Flashpoint, like we said with Flashpoint. This is a good comic
Honestly,
book
they
something that
could-
really resets it. That hopefully we can keep some of what's really awesome here.
They could do that easily if they wanted to, because they have that built in with the Flash, who constantly time travels and resets things. So
Yeah.
they could do themselves a good Flash movie, reset it, but still use the same actors they want to and get the new ones they don't want to.
Which you could say they teased with the random Flash vision to Batman.
In Batman vs. Superman,
Yeah.
that
Or
weird thing that they
Justice
never
League. Was it
explained.
Justice League?
I don't-
Anyway,
I don't
whichever one it
remember.
was.
I don't remember which one it was.
You're right. Oh, this is too far. Yeah. Anyways, so that's what I would, if I had my druthers, some sort of a reset that we can still keep a lot of the good. But I do it around a character that we haven't seen a lot of yet, like the Flash, but maybe or a villain. How about your druthers?
Please, druther.
I've always been of the opinion that whenever you do multi-dimensional stuff, when you're going to switch dimensions, even sometimes when you're going to reset chronology, stay within the same dimension but just go back and reset, that you're creating like a distance you've started to form a bond as an audience with these characters, and you're sort of creating a distance. So I don't know how I would feel about that solution.
Well, hopefully we're creating a distance from the things we don't like.
I get that.
That's
but
the
if you
point.
keep Gal Gadot, then there's this sense of like, we're in the same, but we're not kind of thing. So
Yep.
mine would be a hard reset. Full, we would have to lose the good, but in the hopes of getting back on a more like Nolan track of really good, that quality level, but Justice League done right.
If it's done well, I think they could do it. X-Men have done it at the time or two, right? With that Days of Future Past, they reset the whole X-Men universe, and I thought they did it okay where they could keep going, but you would have to bring in a whole new level of writers, and you have to make it a good movie to do it and keep the endearment of the characters right, or you do probably have to hard reset if you can't write something that just blows your socks off.
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay. Well, really quick, before we wrap up, we did want to just give a huge shout out and a double thumbs up for the latest Transformers installment of Bumblebee.
I concur. I'm a big fan of 80s Transformers. It was what I came home from school and watched as a kid, and this movie 100% is true to those cartoons. I love it. It's the best Transformers movie so far of all of them.
I don't know if I'd put it past Transformers 1, but very good.
I put it well past Transformers 1.
Okay.
I do not have any nostalgia, particularly for Transformers. Mm-hmm. It was a little before my time. Oh, burn! I didn't necessarily get into that particular thing. So for me, it was okay. I wish it seemed like it would have been a better starting point for the Transformers franchise.
Yeah.
But I did have a hard time in the sense that it was a lot of like that girl and her family situation.
That was
an immense amount, and I wanted so much more Optimus and so much more, not as much as what's his face gave us, but more.
I knew I wasn't going to get that much, so I was fine with that. Now I feel like, again, if this was a starting point, I feel like the next movie should have a lot.
You called the movie Bumblebee, but that girl, who's a great actress, did the True Grit movie way back in the day and got Oscar nominated, I think, for it. Great actress. The character was fine. All that stuff. I think they did the 80s really well.
Yeah.
And her character really well. But for a movie being called Bumblebee, there could have been more Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But Bumblebee was in it a lot, but as a car, I felt like it could have been more. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Herbie Rides again.
Yeah, the first 10, 15 minutes where it's still on Cybertron and the classic, you're seeing all. I leaned over to my wife and said, I could watch these first 10, 15 minutes over and over again and be perfectly happy with this movie. So that once they get out there, there's lots of feelings and the girl and all this stuff. But totally enjoyable movie. 2 thumbs up from the panel here, right?
Yeah.
The best part for me, spoiler alert, was at the end when he rolls up beside a very classic looking Optimus tractor trailer.
I can say best. I'm gonna spoil this line.
Tease me like this.
I'm gonna spoil this line, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as I do. I love the line when John Cena, when they're thinking about making the deal with the Decepticons, their name is literally Decepticons. Is this not throwing up any red flags for anybody? I love that.
That's really
Totally. I didn't think John Cena showed any massive acting chops, but that line alone is awesome.
He has like 2 good lines. I love. He has another line in the movie when he's meeting with the parents of the girl.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
And he's like, oh, I want shoplifter when I kid. We know. When I was like, I want shoplifter when I was a kid. So I was like, we know. Like,
Big Brother.
This is so good, so good.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
As always, there's so many good things about being a nerd. We're glad that you joined us here on our little escape in our Hero Escape podcast. Till next time.
See ya.